the Super Bowl. Two teams now have a chance to prove they are the best. It's the Falcons going up against the Patriots.
So by now, I'm sure you've already realized this is actually from Madden 16 and not Madden 17, but I don't own Madden 17, so I decided to use Madden 16 as the backdrop for this video. And the truth be told, I am an Atlanta Falcon fan. I have been so since Madden 2004. When I decided to pick up the game, I didn't have a favorite team, so I decided to use the team that was on the cover, and that was the cover that Michael Vick was on. Used Michael Vick, realized he was a freak of nature. You roll him outside the pocket, he runs for days, you have work done in the backfield, and really after that, their offense wasn't that good. I think Roddy White was just coming into the league. If it wasn't 2004, it was 2006. Regardless, that's how long I've been an Atlanta Falcon fan, with Algie Crumpler as the tight end of the Atlanta Falcons. And now the team is completely different. And if you asked me at the start of the year, Combat, do you think the Atlanta Falcons would be in the Super Bowl? I would have said, what year? 2019? Super Bowl 54, 55? Because no way did I think at the beginning of the year this team was going to go to the Super Bowl. Whole reason being was, after last year's disappointing 8-8 season, I didn't have a ton of faith in this team going forward. They had a very young defense. You know, they were bringing in Deion Jones, they were bringing Keanu O'Neal, Vic Beasley was still very young. I didn't know what would happen. I also thought, you know, losing Roddy White and exchanging him for Mohamed Sanu wasn't going to be the same kind of 1-2 receiver punch. And this team has also not had a go-to tight end like since Tony G left and retired in Atlanta Falcon. So because of that, my faith wasn't really high on this team. And then they lose to Tampa Bay week 1, and then everything kind of just changes. This becomes the most prolific offense since the best show on turf. You know, Jacob Tammy turns into one of the better tight ends in the NFL and then gets hurt. And Troy Lolo, along with Austin Hooper, have looked good at times and look like they can fill that role. Devontae Freeman and Tevin Coleman have looked like the best running back duo in the league. And then you have Julio Jones, who looks at, more often than not, the best receiver in the league. And then you just have these other guys that are filling in slots, like Taylor Gabriel and Aldrick Robinson, just winning battles every week and getting touchdowns and making key receptions. And it's been a very amazing season from an Atlanta Falcons standpoint. So when they beat Green Bay to go to the Super Bowl, I was almost in awe, because I remember when they played the 49ers a few years ago and how furious I was that they didn't make it to the Super Bowl, because I felt they had a chance, but their defense just wasn't good enough. This year's defense, though, seems different. They seem like they can actually play with the big boys and hopefully stop the big boys. So it'll be an interesting day on Sunday to see what happens. Obviously, I'm rooting for the Falcons, but truth be told, I don't have full confidence in a team that doesn't really have a bunch of Super Bowl experience. I think Dwight Freeney, there's our Super Bowl experience, but if you look at the New England Patriots, they're stacked with Super Bowl experience, and it's going to be a very good game on Sunday. And I want to just talk about why the Falcons can win and how they're going to win. And if they win, they need to do these things. And this is just from a football fan point of view. And I'm sure Dan Quinn is doing a very good job at preparing this team for this game, because, hell, he's been there. And that's the biggest thing. Is I think if you have a coach that's been to the big show, you know, if he's been in the Super Bowl, he knows how to get a team prepared for something of this magnitude. And I really trust Dan Quinn to get this team prepared. And what he's done with this defense already in just 2 years is outstanding, turning Vic Beasley into one of the most treacherous and great defensive ends in the league. And then you have Deion Jones, who's turning into a great linebacker, and it's only his rookie season, and he looked like he had a huge impact on the defensive side of the ball. And then you have Keanu O'Neal also playing great football. So it seems that this team's heading in the right direction. It's going to be a couple more years, I think, before they're extremely dominant on the defensive side. But I think as long as you still have the quarterback that Matt Ryan is back there, MVP, anything can happen. And I think that's where we have to start with how the Falcons can win on Sunday. It's a quarterback. It's 100% quarterback. It's 100% how well Matt Ryan can play and how well he handles the pressure of playing in the Super Bowl. It's a different game than you've ever had in your entire career. It's different than any other game on your schedule. The game is longer. There's, it's there's more time to just kind of breathe and soak it in, you can't break focus. And I trust Matt Ryan to do it. And this is all from a Falcon fan standpoint. I'm not an analyst. I've never played football, so take this with a grain of salt. This is just what I've noticed as being a fan. And I think the Falcons can really, really relish in the opportunity to be the underdogs and to come out flying. You know, if they score on their first drive, this is going to be a shootout. The Falcons need to score on the first drive, period, to just settle into the game. They need to settle into the game, get some points on the board, whether it's a field goal or a touchdown. They just need to settle in the game early on. And early points can do that for you. And it's not all about, you know, we have to go out and beat the New England Patriots right away and get as much in them as possible, as many points on them as possible, as early as possible. I think it's just slowly grinding, getting yourself comfortable in a game that you've never played in before. You know, grind them down by running Devonta Freeman and Tevin Coleman down their throats. Use, you know, all your plethora of receivers. Use Austin Hooper and Toilolo and do whatever you can to spread the ball around. You know, Julio's going to be covered, and that's been one of the biggest things is, you know, how is Bill Belichick going to handle Julio? I think if you take the emphasis off Julio early on in the game plan, and then you push him later on in the game, they're going to be focused on where are your other options, where are your other weapons that they'll kind of let him be. You know, Mohamed Sanu has been fantastic at times this season for just relieving some pressure from Julio Jones, because if he makes a big catch, then defenses are like, well, maybe we should try to cover him a little bit more. That's the thing. They just got to diversify the ball, give it to everybody on the field, and it'll open up some spots, at least in my opinion. The biggest thing on defense, though, is they need to stop early on in the game. You know, you can let the Patriots have a few points in the first half, but I think the big turning point for the Falcons in the NFC Championship was the fact that they got a turnover and the missed field goal. The fact that they went into the second half with no points allowed was huge. At least I think it was no points allowed, regardless whether it was no points allowed or not. The points were minimal for this prolific offense, and Aaron Rodgers being the best quarterback in the NFL and playing the best football of his career. That defense stepped up, and I think they're going to step up for this game, but they have to not take penalties. They have to, you know, rush them. Focus as much as you can on getting as much pressure on Tom Brady as possible, and that's how this team can win a Super Bowl. Spread the ball around. Make sure you integrate your running game. Don't become one-dimensional, and just rush Tom Brady and make him uncomfortable back there. Make sure that he doesn't have all this time to throw and find the right receiver. Obviously, this picture on the screen is what I want to see. The Atlanta Falcons winning the Lombardi Trophy. It might be a far-fetched dream at this point in time, but it's closer than it's ever been in my lifetime, and I'm looking so forward to seeing them rise up Sunday. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you enjoyed the video, please hit that like button. If you want to see more from me, hit that subscribe button. Until next time, guys, Combat signing off. Peace.